Seeing as we've finished our last practice before the end of the year, I wanted to review kind of what we've been through as far as the development of this system and the learning of this system, and give you kind of a hint of where we're going. I'm so proud of how well all the kids have done with this. Um, when I decided to do this and really take this seriously with this lightning program, I had a lot of goals, and I didn't want to tell you all what they all were, but this system of offense is something that I really, really believe in, and I really wanted to see if these kids at this age can take it. Because what this offense is designed to do, for lack of a better description, is to really teach the kids how to play basketball. One of the issues I had with coaches and coaching in general, especially at the youth level, is when they teach kids how to play by giving them, for example, set plays. See, when you give a kid a set play to run an offense, what you're basically doing is saying, okay, this is where you would go if you knew how to play basketball, even though you really don't. Okay, it's like you're putting pegs on a board and drawing up a thing and saying, okay, this is where they probably should go if they knew to go there. But because they don't, I'm just going to make them go there. And while that, makes you look good on the court, everyone, from the time being, it's really not teaching the kids much of anything except how to follow orders, right? I mean, you put a kid out on the playground or you put a kid in another team, they're not going to have any clue what good basketball habits are. And what this offense, this read and react offense, does is it really teaches kids great habits of offense in general. So that, when they stop playing for me, or when they go play varsity, or when they go, play basketball for the rest of their lives, they're going to have really, really good basketball habits. And they're good individual habits and good team habits. Now, when I was growing up, I learned kind of a version of this, but to be honest, I mean, this was really put together by Better Basketball, which is run by a guy named Rick Torbett. And when I got back into coaching, I boned up on all the material again, and he really did a great job of putting this whole thing together. And this whole offensive system is really 22 layers of offense. And I want to review what we've gone through. And my goal for these kids was to get them through 6 layers. Okay, 6 layers of the offense is essentially the foundation, and everything after that, you can kind of add on as you go. But I thought to myself that at the seventh and eighth grade level, it was possible to get those 6 layers down by the end of Christmas. Now, remember, we have a disadvantage in that we only practice for an hour a week. And an hour a week, even though we've been practicing for, say, 15 weeks, that only works out to be the equivalent of maybe a week of, say, high school practice. Excuse me, of only about 2 weeks. No, so 15 hours? Yeah, about a week and a half of high school practice. So while it seems like we've been practicing forever, we've really been practicing about the equivalent if you were practicing in high school for a week and a half at the most. And I had this goal of putting in the first 6 layers, and this includes I have to teach them defense, I have to teach them all this other good stuff, which is obviously really important. But as far as the offense went, I really wanted to get through layer 6 by Christmas. And you know what? We actually came up one practice short. We're one practice away from actually getting through layers 5 and 6 and successfully doing that. Now, again, just to review what we've been teaching them, and it's so much fun to show up early for practice and watch them actually do some of these things when they're just playing pickup. I mean, that's the beauty of this. So I'm going to review everything that we've done, and you'll see that there's language that they've learned that they never learned before. There's movements that they've learned which they never really knew how to put together before. And I'm talking to you kids as well. I mean, you have no idea how much you've improved as far as your basketball IQ just in the last several months. And I really hope that now that we can get this foundation down, now we can really tighten it up. Now we can not necessarily just know, what these habits should be, but really turning them into habits and really, really drilling them. And by the time I'm done with you guys, whenever that would be, whether it be this year, next, or 2 years from now, whatever it is, you're going to be a machine. You're going to be a machine as a team, and you're going to be machines as individuals. And these habits will transfer to any team and any level of basketball you want to play. I mean, I went to a coaching clinic at Adelphi, no less, over the summer, where I met a guy who teaches who coaches a FIBA team, a pro team, and that's all they do is run this offense. You want the best example of the success of this offense? Are those girls that are that are my assistants? I mean, they are part of the Adelphi program, and the Adelphi women's program. When Coach Jacobs came to Adelphi, they were something like 3-20 or something. She instituted the read and react offense about 3 years ago, and you should see the graph of their points and of their wins. They're incredible, and I don't know how much of it is due to the offense, how much of it is due to other things, but you know what? Those numbers don't lie, and that team is 10-0 right now and ranked in the top 10. So this stuff works, and I really encourage you to stick with it and stick with me as we continue to improve, because you guys are all becoming much better basketball players because of this. And so again, thanks for trusting me with this. And there is an end game to this as well. I mean, I want to at one point, be kind of like a youth team that gets featured in some of these videos, because most of their videos are based on college teams and stuff like that. But I think you guys are good enough and smart enough that we can run this, and you guys could be that special team that I was kind of hoping for. Incidentally, if you want more information on the offense, I mean, you could Google it, or there's plenty of free stuff online, YouTube videos on the read and react offense. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it really, really is. And again, for those of you who are, parents who are watching this, if you coach, I don't know if sixth or seventh graders can handle it, but higher level seventh and eighth graders could probably handle this. And it's a really, really good way to teach kids really how to play basketball. So I mean, just to look at this, I mean, this is kind of like my own kind of playbook that I kind of drew up for my various teams, and these are the first 6 layers. And just to review what we've done and what we still have to do, I mean, remember the whole idea, the main thing that runs this offense, it is getting to the rim, and passing and cutting is one good way to get to the rim. And as you hear me yelling, and as you see the kids doing, I mean, it's all about passing and cutting and filling those spots. Passing and cutting and filling those spots. And this is basically the beginning of just layer one. If you can't get to this, layer one, the rest of it's irrelevant. So we drill this every single day. And then even within layer one, this idea, this read line, that whenever someone steps 1 foot over the read line, again, we're just getting to the rim, and this is just part of layer one. I call this layer 1B, but it's still just the idea of just always cutting to the basket. And this business that you see us do all the time in the games, this Laker cut. And think about this. This is language that they didn't know before, and now I yell Laker cut, and they even refer to it, hey, make a Laker cut, Laker cut. And you could even say Laker cut, and the other team will have no idea what you're talking about. You can even say, make a Laker cut, and the other team will be like, huh? And all it is, again, is one pass away, and then you're cutting. You want to pass it out if you want, that's fine. Cut, pass, cut, and that's layer 2. And then we talked about the other way to get to the rim is when you dribble at someone. It's their job to cut. And this is just basically just called a dribble at. And this is layer 3. Just you dribble at someone, they're just supposed to cut. You dribble at someone, they're supposed to cut. You dribble at someone, they're supposed to cut. Good habits to always get into. Be getting towards the rim. And we did that, and this is, we continue to build this habit. It's tough. It's tough to do in the game under pressure. But the more you drill it, the more it becomes natural. and that's layer 3. Now, believe it or not, what we just started really doing was layer 4, which is used to be actually layer 1. Layer 4 and all the derivatives of layer 4 is what happens when the person just dribbles to the rim. Okay, which is obviously the easiest way to get to the rim. Is, you want to get to the rim, just dribble there. Beat your man and get there. But if you're going to do that, there's got to be some coordinated movement from everybody else that gives you a chance. In other words, like, if you're not going to get to the rim, you got to have some outlets. So this is what layer 4 is all about, is what happens if you dribble to the rim and you don't get there. And the first thing we did was this natural pitch thing. You'll see the idea is that when someone dribbles to the rim, everybody just kind of moves to that direction. Like, if he dribbles to the right, everybody moves one spot to the right. And this first thing was this natural pitch that we've drilled. This guy drifts that way. See that? Everybody just circles to the right, and you find that guy. Next part of layer 4 that we did was this safety valve. If you get to the rim and it's not there, this guy's supposed to be moving to the right to fill the spot. So you'll have him available to kick back to him for that shot. And again, it's all coordinated movement. One guy dribbles, everybody else moves one spot in the direction. And I'm telling you, by the time I'm done with you, you're going to be in a pickup game, and someone's going to penetrate to the rim, and you're going to know exactly where to go. And life is going to be so much easier on the basketball court. Now, the older group did this. Did a little bit of this baseline cutter thing, but that's basically the end of layer 4, and the only thing we have left to do to get through this foundation to kind of look ahead is what to do with the post players when somebody dribbles, and what to do when you dribble from the baseline. But aside from that, that's the foundation. That's layers 1 through 6, and you see how long it takes. It's taken through all of Christmas to get through this, but then again, it's only been 2 weeks. I mean, you have teams that spend a full 3 weeks just getting this offense in, and this is higher level teams. Okay, we are a 7th and 8th grade team, and we've done the equivalent of what some college level teams take 3 weeks to do to get in, and we've done it in the equivalent of 1.5 weeks of high school practice. So this is great stuff. And you guys should be really, really proud that you're learning all this. And, I'm really happy to be teaching it to you. And so now, once we get the rest of this in, which is probably in one more practice, then what happens is it all becomes perfecting it. And all becomes drilling it. And it all becomes, you learning more and more how to not think about what you're doing. And it just become natural. And then, from a team perspective, then the defense can really start to tighten up. Okay, I really felt it was important to get this offense in, because I think that's a habit that is going to sit with you the rest of your life. And I told the kids all pretty much the entire first semester, so to speak, with defense, try to communicate and play hard. I taught them probably more about defense than I wanted to. Okay, I taught them a lot of stuff about closing out, a lot of stuff about guarding the post, a lot of different presses, a lot of fundamentals, and worked them hard on defense. But to be honest, I did spend the majority of the time on the offense, which is just my philosophy. I wanted to get the offense in, and again, I like these habits to stay with them. We're gonna so what's going forward is I don't really want to go into any of those final 22 layers of the offense. We could, but what I'm going to probably be doing is really, really tightening up these first 6 layers. If I think that you guys can expand from that, I will. Maybe one other level when it comes to attacking zones, but we'll talk about that some other time. But it's going to be now about really perfecting these and really tightening up the defense. And with this type of offense rolling and a good defense, I mean, like I said, you're just going to be a machine. But that's pretty much a review of the practices. And I don't want to go over all the out of bounds plays again. I mean, that just is what it is. But that's kind of what I said before. That's just kind of putting people where they're supposed to be, you know. But this is the meat and potatoes, right? This read and react offense, I really think is the best way for you guys to learn how to play basketball. And I'm happy you guys are buying into it. I'm happy you guys are doing much better with it. And let's keep it up. Uh, have a good. I guess we got one more game before the end of the holiday season, but after the last practice, I did wanted to make this review.